This video is brought to you by PlayTracker, the app that tracks your cross-platform game library, achievements, stats, and more. Stick around to the end to find out more. Arc Raiders has been one of the biggest surprise hits of the year. You've probably heard a lot about Arc Raiders by now from social media. It's just the latest fad, or the controversy around its use of AI for its in-game ping system, or that it's just yet another game trying to get in on the trend of the extraction genre. That may all be true, but it's also a really good game. At its core, Arc Raiders is an extraction shooter. You go in and you try to collect the best loot you can find while either avoiding or engaging other players. But beyond that core loot, the game is really all about the emergent moments that it creates by putting arcs in the world that really can't be taken down without player cooperation. Usually, there's some wild people out there. I've put over 30 hours into the game, and it's one of the most interesting multiplayer experiences I've had since the World War II shooter Hell Let Loose came out all the way back in 2019. The community has created its own meta around how the game should be played, and even self-polices to uphold an unwritten set of rules. As an example, if you go into a solo lobby, it is generally expected that you're looking to avoid confrontation with other players. Using the in-game proximity chat, people will call out to one another to proclaim they're friendly and not to shoot on sight. There's genuine human interaction in the game, as you have to constantly decide whether or not to trust a stranger in the game world because they could turn on you at any moment. Especially if you find a really good piece of loot they want. But, more often than not, my experience has been that communication quickly breaks the ice, and people are generally friendly. I've even had a moment where I was looting a building and heard someone below be taken out by another player. I went down to get revenge, and just after I had finished taking out the player who broke the unwritten rules, another player took me down but gave me a chance to explain myself. I directed them towards the body of the player that was taken out first, and made clear I was just getting revenge for them. The player that took me out believed me, revived me, and even left me some bandages to heal myself as we went our separate ways. In a separate instance, I was moving towards an extraction point with a bag full of loot and called out that I was friendly for anyone nearby. As I approached the extraction point, I was ambushed by another player and taken down. As that happened, a whole group of players who were also waiting for extraction immediately gunned down my would-be assailant, led me to the extraction zone, and we all got out together.
Sorry, brother. Don't trust them.
The rules change a bit as you add more players into the mix. Duo or trio squad matches often result in more PvP encounters. Turns out, the more people you have in a situation, the harder it is to communicate and actually convince another group you're friendly. New. During one of the very first games I played, I was running in a squad of 3, which is typically more PvP focused. I didn't have the gear at the time to really be any threat, and my teammates immediately tried to gun down the first squad we ran into. I ran off like a coward to take cover because I didn't want any part of that. The other team took out my teammates, and I slowly came out of cover to indicate that I didn't want to fight and that they had started it. In my teammate's final moments, he tried to get the other squad to believe that I had started the fight to try and weasel his way out of his misdeeds. The nerve on that guy. Thankfully, the other team didn't believe him, put him out of commission, and let me take his loot for the trouble. And it's not just the player versus player encounters I'm enjoying either. I dropped into a map where I could hear a bunch of gunfire and explosions in the distance. All the players in the lobby had banded together to take on one of the game's world bosses, Mother Ark, which defends a harvester that holds really valuable loot. Even though I didn't really have the greatest loadout to do much to the Mother, I joined the fight and helped keep the smaller arcs off the players who were doing the most damage to the Mother. It was an intense fight with the Mother flinging rockets all over the map, players healing one another, swapping ammo with those that needed it, and working to keep the smaller arcs away from the main damage dealers in the lobby. At the end of the fight, everyone shared the loot. Nobody turned on one another, and we all extracted without incident. There's so many different ways these matches in Arc Raiders play out because human interaction is so unpredictable. It creates stories that you remember long after you completed a round. Even the devious ones. Which, of course, I have had. Sometimes, it's hard to resist taking out another player when there's no one else around. Don't look at me like that. I know you've done it too.
We just wanted to complete the mission. Spare us! Spare us, we just want to do the mission. We just want to do the mission that you can kill us. That you can...
Nick! You said he's harmless! What are you doing?
It's these moments, that constant player tension, and the goal of looting my way up to be effective in a world boss battle that keep bringing me back to Arc Raiders. But also because the game isn't so overly oppressive in its mechanics and expectations of the player. I've tried a lot of extraction shooters at this point, and I'm usually immediately turned off by the lack of onboarding they provide, and the almost instant punishment you get when starting them up. Arc Raiders, I think, has succeeded as much as it has because it eases players into the experience better than any other extraction shooter on the market. The game gives you a character to upgrade with permanent progression that you don't lose upon death. You have a skill tree that you can upgrade as you earn XP while on excursions, so there's a constant sense of progression even if you have a bad round. There's enough loot in the world and ways to extract that it doesn't feel nigh impossible to get in and get out with what you need. The game gives you a number of pretty easy to accomplish quests at the start, so you can get into the loop of searching for specific items to upgrade your different workstations and craft items you need. Arc Raider strips out all the extra mechanics that you usually see in these types of games to focus on the core elements of raiding, extracting, taking down world bosses, and all the emergent moments that happen in between. It's the first game in the extraction genre that has really hooked me, and I would heartily recommend it to anyone who has even an inkling of interest. I think it's a great entry point that effectively onboards the player into his loop with a community that, at least so far, self-polices in a way to make the game fun, even for newcomers to the genre.
This video is brought to you by Play Tracker, the app that tracks your cross-platform game library, achievements, stats, and more. Play Tracker works by connecting to various gaming platforms and combining all your data in one place. It offers a unified cross-platform social experience, advanced game library labeling and sorting, fun challenges and progression system, and stats about games and the types of players who enjoy them. Play Tracker is for all kinds of gamers, like this one.
My top tags across all platforms are dating sim and psychological horror. I'm sure that says nothing about me as a person.
And this one.
My mate Captain Toe Jam 96 and I have a lot of games in common. We should tackle some challenges together.
And even me! I'm better than all of you. Unite your gaming multiverse with Play Tracker today and join the official Second Wind Guild to unlock exclusive profile decorations by playing games recommended by us, a group of ostensibly professional gamers with allegedly great taste in games. Ooh.